Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney and today is Monday, February 28th. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. This is where we share the stories that you are clicking on most, the stories that matter most to you here in Northeast Ohio. We'll start off with an update to a story that happened over the weekend, a disturbing story. A Kent man has now turned himself into Akron Police after police identified him as the suspect in a video that was widely shared on social media over the weekend. In the video, a man who the police have said is Andrew Walls, who is 26 years old, can be heard using a racial slur, using the N-word. He's also seen on the video striking a woman in the face. Now, 3 News did talk with that woman, Cameron Morgan, a 23-year-old, who went to the hospital with a busted lip after she said that he sucker punched her in the face after she said that she tried to get him to stop using the N-word. So now police are saying that there's actually another woman who has been assaulted. So now he has 2 assault charges as well as being charged with use of weapons while intoxicated. Captain David Laughlin of the Akron Police Department told our 3 News reporter Brandon Simmons that the Akron Police Department is talking with the FBI to see if additional charges will be brought, specifically the charge of a hate crime. What we do know from speaking with Morgan, the victim here, the 23-year-old, is that she was out with friends on Saturday night in Highland Square when she came across a man that she said was calling people the N-word. She tried to get him to stop. That's the point where he sucker punched her in the face. Now, 3 News spoke to the father of this man, who declined to comment, and in an unusual coincidence, the suspect, Andrew Walls, was his mother was the victim, Cameron Morgan's 10th grade math teacher, but they did not know each other before this attack. This is a developing story, and as we get more information, we will bring it to you. Now, if you're following what's happening in Ukraine with the invasion by Russia, the first round of talks aimed at stopping the fighting has ended today, but there is no agreement except to keep talking. People familiar with the situation did say that they do see points where possible agreement could come, but right now the talks will continue. This is with Russia experiencing fierce resistance from Ukrainians on the ground and also economic havoc from consequences from sanctions that were placed against Russia at home in Russia. So now we're 5 days into Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and Russia continues to bring up the possibility of nuclear war, which is obviously something that no one wants to see. Ukraine now has largely symbolically moved to apply to join the European Union, which is not something that's likely to sit well with Russian President Vladimir Putin, especially as many people are saying that one of the reasons for this invasion of Ukraine is to keep Ukraine out of NATO, as Russia is very interested in keeping the West as far away from the Russian border as possible. Now, while the talks were wrapping up, blasts could be heard in Kyiv, and we do not have immediate details, but Russian troops who are attacking Ukraine on multiple fronts have been advancing to the capital city. That's where nearly 3 million people are located. Today, there was a 17-mile convoy with hundreds of armored vehicles, tanks, artillery, and support vehicles just 17 miles from the center of Kyiv. That's according to satellite imagery. The Russian military has denied targeting residential areas, but there is significant evidence and video being shared on social media that appears to be the shelling of homes, schools, and hospitals, not government buildings. Now, Elon Musk has responded to a tweet from a Ukrainian official asking for Starlink service to be active in Ukraine. Starlink is the space-based system that SpaceX has been building for years to bring internet access to underserved areas of the world. There have been widespread internet outages in Ukraine throughout Russia's invasion. So Elon Musk had posted that that is operational today and that they will be sending more units as well. Back here at home, Strongsville High School is closed today after a student was found unsupervised in the school over the weekend. This is according to an email that was sent to staff and families of students from Superintendent Dr. Cameron Ryba. The student was found in a classroom on Sunday and then was released to his parents by police. There was an initial check by the police department that found no threat, and then out of abundance of caution, Dr. Ryba opted to cancel classes today as well so that Dr. Ryba and Principal Bill Wingler could meet with staff and conduct an additional search of the high school. Strongsville Police Department was also once again present to provide significant support. And with the areas of the building thoroughly checked and found safe, students will be returning to classes as scheduled on Tuesday, March 1st. Athletic practices also able to resume this afternoon. Now, this is a big day for baseball fans because if Major League Baseball doesn't come to an agreement between the ownership and the Players Association, opening day could move back and the season could be shortened. Management says a deal has to be reached by the end of today in order to save a March 31st opening start to the season and a 162 game schedule. So the sides started meeting this morning very early, 10 a.m., 3 hours earlier than initially planned. This is the eighth straight day of talks. They're talking at Roger Dean Stadium, which is currently not being used as spring training is not underway. So this is the 89th day of the lockout, and Major League Baseball hasn't fixed an exact time to the deadline, but bargaining sessions could stretch into very late if they do feel that a deal is close to being reached. But the sides are still pretty far apart. But here's the thing. Players could stand to lose $20.5 million in salary for each day of the season that's canceled. That's a lot of money. That's according to a study by the Associated Press. And the 30 teams would lose a lot of money too, but that number is a little bit harder to pick down. Now, the reason today is the deadline that was set by Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred is he says that at least 28 days of training are needed before the season starts. The union hasn't necessarily said whether it agrees with that deadline, and in the past, baseball has shortened spring training to as short as 3 weeks. So, could be a serious deadline today, could be an artificial deadline. Either way, we'll know a little bit more by the end of the day what's happening with Major League Baseball. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health. Right now there are 1,103 people in the hospital being treated for COVID-19. Out of those people, 204 of them are being treated in the ICU, and in the last 24 hours, we've seen 729 new reported COVID-19 cases. Now, remember, these are not those at-home COVID-19 positives. These are positives that are coming from medical facilities and from those official PCR tests. But again, 729 new reported COVID-19 cases in the last day. So it was on Friday that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention outlined new guidance calling for a break from wearing masks from certain places, and it's a color-coded map with counties designated as orange, yellow, or green, and that's to help guide local officials and residents. Now, in green counties, local officials can drop any indoor masking rules and recommendations. Yellow means people at high risk for severe disease should be cautious, and orange means the CDC has designated that everyone should still be wearing masks in those places. And in Ohio, we have 15 counties that are orange right now, 15 out of our 88 counties. Those counties are Champaign, Clark, Gallia, Harrison, Jackson, Jefferson, Lawrence, Logan, Meigs, Morgan, Pike, Ross, Scioto, Van Wert, and Washington counties. Now, speaking of scientifically based information, on my 3 Things to Know podcast this week, I talked with Cleveland Clinic psychologist Dr. Susan Alberts, and we are talking about 5 scientifically proven ways to improve your relationships, because we all hear it all the time. Relationships are work, right? But it can be kind of tough to know where to start. So Dr. Alberts has laid out 5 ways scientifically proven to improve those relationships. So some of these concepts might be familiar to you, like the 5-to-1 ratio, that you should have 5 positive experiences for every single negative experience. Other ideas: sharing intentional appreciation, creating me and we time, understanding the 5 love languages, and also, this one was a new one to me, the importance of 8 meaningful touches per day. So I get into the details on all of this with Dr. Susan Alberts. And then, of course, as always in every podcast, share what you need to know in NEO. This time, it's a great date spot and who a good follow is. And this time, have to shout out our very own Kiara Cotton. She is a very good follow when it comes to finding things to do and ways to connect with your partner, because she always knows what is poppin' in Northeast Ohio. Here's something that is important on the national scale. Might not be happening here in Ohio, though, but Target is raising its minimum wage up to $24 an hour in some areas. You know, some of those areas would obviously include, like, New York, where it's very expensive to live and the competition is tough for workers. Now, its universal starting wage of $15 an hour was kind of revolutionary back in 2017, but now other people in the industry have definitely caught up, and some of them have surpassed that. Right now, Costco's minimum hourly wage for workers is $17. Amazon's starting wage is $15, and the average starting wage for jobs in transportation and fulfillment is $18 per hour. So Target will now be keeping $15 as the baseline, but going up to $24 in lots of areas, again, especially in those very competitive areas. Here's something that's happening this week. The auto show is in town. It's at the IX Center, and Jarrett Allen, who recently joined the NBA All-Star team, he'll be making a special guest appearance. That'll be on Tuesday, March 1st. He will be at the Mazda display from 7 to 8 p.m., and you can get his signature there. It'll be first come, first serve. You don't need to bring your gear because he won't be signing memorabilia, but he will be signing cards that are pre-provided, so you don't need to bring anything. Just bring yourself and get in line early because, like I said, first come, first serve. And someone else who will be there signing will be Cleveland Browns' Kareem Hunt, running back. He'll be at the Buick GMC display. That'll be on Wednesday, March 2nd from 7 to 8:30 p.m. The Cleveland Auto Show is open right now at the IX Center, and that is through Sunday, March 6th. And something that is coming back here after it has been missed is the Tall Ships Festival. That's coming back to Cleveland this July. It'll be July 7th through the 10th. And the Grand Fleet will dock near the north side of First Energy Stadium. There will be 8 replica and restored ships. Everybody loves seeing these come to town. I'm very much looking forward to seeing them. Haven't gotten to see them and excited to see it now that I'm back here home in the Cleveland area. Tickets start at $20 for general admission, cheaper for seniors, veterans, and military, $17. Children's 3 through 12 are $17. You can get a 3-day pass for $50 if you want to go every single day. You can get early boarding and a general admission day pass for $55. You get a VIP fast pass for $125 if you want to jump right to the head of the line, and tall ship access for $300. Plus, there's a parade of sail and a captain's reception. That's on Thursday for $100. I know that was a lot of info. We've got it all laid out on WKYC.com, so you can check that out. The organizers of this event say there will be live entertainment, exhibits, food and beverage options, and tours aboard the fleet. That's it for 3 News Now update today for Monday, February 28th. Everybody, I will see you back here tomorrow with more 3 News Now.